If you've ever wondered what the heck you actually said at the end of that party,
or wanted a do-over button for those cringe-worthy encounters,
then you've experienced what we call the joy of awkwardness.
I'm Mendy.
And I'm Bree.
And we're here to celebrate the awkward.
Embrace the awkward.
And remind you of one important thing.
You may be awkward,
but you're definitely not alone.
Well, that was awkward. Hi, Mendy.
Hi, Bree.
Do you have an awkward story from this week?
I do have an awkward story from this week, Bree. So, Gabe is in the pool, in the warm water pool.
Gabe is your partner.
Yes, Gabe is my partner, my true love. He is in the warm water pool, which is mostly a therapy pool, right? And he is in the water with his arms on the edge, and he's exercising his legs behind him, very obviously. And I'm just sitting on the side of the pool, talking his ear off, as I do. And this woman, she sees him. She comes behind him, and he says, like, "Oh, excuse me." And I, trying to make a joke, said, "Did he kick you?" Thinking we'd all have a laugh, you know? And she said, "Yes, he did kick me. And sir, you need to be more careful." And Bree, you know how protective I am of my loved ones. I was like, yes, we all need to be more careful. And then she was like, well, I'm doing my therapy for my legs. And I said, so is he. We're all doing our therapy and we all need to be careful while we're all doing our therapies in the therapy pool. Bree, I would not have gotten as triggered if it had been me. I would have brushed it off and probably thought about it a lot later. I would have perseverated on it. But because it was him, I just immediately, like the hairs on the back of my neck went right up and I went right to his defense. And I thought like, oh, this is a way that awkwardness truly is a superpower, because if anyone messes with any of my friends, you just call on me. I will make it awkward. I will make it awkward for that person. I am there for you.
You know, you do bring up an interesting point, though, which is that we do, some of us have that inclination to protect other people, and that drive is far greater when it's applied to people we love than to ourselves, right? That we'll do anything to protect somebody else. Whereas like if she had said that to you, you would have just been like, well, that's kind of witchy. And you would have kind of moved on, you know, or you wouldn't have been grumpy, or you would have texted me and said like, I
got grunted at again.
Right. But I do wonder what it is about us that makes us more assertive in defense or protection of the people that we love. And I wonder if that's a biological trait. I wonder if other animals do that, because I know other humans do it. I do it too. Yeah. You're very good at it, though.
I've got you, girl. I've got you. All right, Bree, what is your awkward story from the week, or one of your awkward stories?
I know there are so many these days. I actually have an awkward story that is about me trying to make things awkward for other people too, but in a little bit of a different way. As you know, I'm on Cape Cod this summer having a working vacation, which is an oxymoron. But every morning, I do try to walk down to the beach. So from the house to the beach is maybe about a half mile, and it's through a very sweet residential neighborhood that could be 1940, it could be 1970, it could be 1990. You cannot tell what decade you are in unless a car drives by. It is just a very bizarre time warp of a town. However, quaint and lovely as it is, nobody talks to anybody on their morning walks. Everybody avoids eye contact. Everybody avoids any kind of interaction. And I'm not having it. That does not feel like it is appropriate to the space.
That's not neighborly.
And, you know, I'm a Southerner. So every time I come across a person, I smile at them and I say, good morning. And it is so funny, Mendy, because people look really uncomfortable when I smile and say good morning to them. They're like shocked they're scared sometimes. They're like, good morning. Or they don't even know what to say, right?
Oh my God.
Funny.
I wasn't ready for kindness. I wasn't ready.
So yesterday I was on my morning walk and I was really enjoying seeing everybody kind of scurry around in response to my good morning. And then all of a sudden I come across this guy, and before I could even say good morning, he gave me a big grin and he said, "Hey, good morning." And I said, "Are you from North Carolina?"
What? Oh my God.
And he said, "Yeah, how'd you know?"
Did you tell him how you could tell?
I did a little bit. I said, "I'd recognize that hey anywhere." I didn't want to say, "People here are rude."
You're the only one who would talk to me.
But it is interesting because it makes me think about how manners and politeness are different from culture to culture, and how manners are really about making people feel more comfortable. If we get down to what they should be about, right? Then they should be about making people feel more comfortable. So in a way, my good manners are perhaps bad manners in a culture where it is not appropriate or comfortable for people to be told good morning to.
So here's a question,
Yeah.
spinning off of that. Did you or are you altering your behavior, or are you like, I'm going to keep spreading sunshine?
I'm still going to keep spreading sunshine.
I know it's hard not to when you're Bree.
In a good mood.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm going to keep doing it.
Oh, I love that.
There are a lot of ways to meet a culture where they are, and there are other ways where it's just like, no, man, this brings me joy. I'm going to do this. Well, that was awkward.
So, Bree, it's interesting that you bring up being a Southerner and manners, because our listener story this week is about etiquette and manners.
Interesting. I'm intrigued.
Yes. This story is from our listener, Lila, who was in the 7th grade at the time that this happened, around 12 or 13 years old. She lives in Alabama, as her family has done for generations.
That's real Southern.
Oh, yes, honey. And Bree, Lila's mom has inserted her into a magical old-fashioned world that I legit had no idea even existed.
Like whittling dollhouse furniture? What?
Oh, is that a thing too? No. So her mom said, my children are going to be sophisticated. And so she enrolls them in Cotillion. Have you heard of this?
Oh, yeah. I know what Cotillion is.
I Googled it when I saw the subject of the story come through when she submitted. And the first thing that came up was an episode of Gilmore Girls.
Oh, that's funny. So you know what Cotillion is now?
A little bit, but you tell me about it. I mean, because I know the story, but please, I bet our listeners may be wondering too, what the heck is Cotillion, especially our international listeners?
Well, it's pretty old-fashioned, right? And it's basically manners classes for middle school kids who are on their way to becoming, let's say, debutantes. Do you know what a debutante is?
I know what debutante is. It's when the teenage girls debut they have their debut onto the social scene.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So basically, Cotillion is like old-fashioned manners classes for middle school kids.
Oh, good God. That sounds like hell to me at 12 and now. And it's basically the moms take control of your social life, right?
Yeah, totally.
Oh.
But you do get to learn to dance. Like you learn how to foxtrot.
Oh my God. I'm imagining being a surly tween girl and being made to foxtrot.
Yeah. And you get to learn to like mingle and to socialize appropriately.
Now, that is something I wish I'd learned. Bree, you know how small talk terrifies me. Like when you're at a party and someone asks you, what do you do? And I just feel so much pressure. I'm like, what do I do? I cry in my car and regret my choices. That's what I do.
That has its advantages too. They don't teach you how to do that in Cotillion, though. You do learn how to set a table properly. So like when you have a whole bunch of forks next to your plate, you know which one to use and when.
Oh man, I imagine how my life would be so different if I'd learned where to put the shrimp knife when I was in middle school. Oh my God.
The thing I remember is to always make sure that your knife is set on the right of your plate with the blade facing toward your plate. Mendy, do you know why that's the rule?
No.
Well, in the olden days of heathens, if the blade was facing towards your neighbor and you got irritated with them, it would be too easy to slit their throats in a moment of fury if the blade were facing outward. So they make you face the blade inward. So the dull side of the knife would be at your neighbor's throat if you got mad.
The fact that this fancy pants world has a contingency plan for just in case you want to murder your table mate, we're going to slow you down a fraction of a second.
Cotillion grew out of piracy.
Oh, now that I could get into pirate etiquette. And actually, Bree, speaking of all the different forks and where you put them, our girl Lila said that she still holds the Cotillion Hasty Host title for being able to set a table in record time.
That's perfect for a shotgun wedding.
These fancy pants people aren't supposed to be having shotgun weddings, right?
I think this lets us know that most of these rules of etiquette grew out of trying to control our baser human instincts. That's what it all comes down to.
I'm going to feel so much better next time I'm at a super fancy dinner with a place setting and I don't know what fork to use because I'm going to be thinking in my head, I'm amongst animals. If it weren't for all these rules, they wouldn't know how to use a fork or they'd try to stab their neighbor.
And speaking of weddings, shotgun or otherwise, the whole end goal for this cotillion thing is beyond manners. It's really to help them find acceptable matches. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Blah.
Ray, that kind of makes me feel creepy.
I know. Well, it is a little bit creepy, but Cotillion also has done some good things, I think. One thing that I've heard is that Cotillion actually paved the way for drag culture. You know, like the drag balls, Yeah.
Yes.
They grew out of Cotillion. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's super cool. One thing I saw, it's not just for girls either.
Cotillion is co-ed. So for middle schoolers, it's also just quite simply a way for them to like hang out with their hormones raging, and all those rules and formalities make sure it's not like Lord of the Flies out there. Plus, it's an excuse to dress up.
Okay, I could connect with that, but yeah. I guess my cotillion was Friday night roller skating at the Lunenburg County Community Center.
It is a little more exclusive than that, though. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if roller skating... Did you have to be a cool kid to roller skate at the Lunenburg Community Center?
Absolutely not. They let me come before my glow up, so...
So one other thing about Cotillion, Mendy, is that you had to be invited to join. Like different communities have different rules about how that happens. You have to go through a whole application process, though. And sometimes you just have to be in the right family. I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
The right family. You know what that means?
Mm-hmm.
So it can be pretty exclusive and cutthroat.
So, Bree, did you ever have to go through that application process?
Mendy, I was never actually eligible for Cotillion.
What?
So I just read a lot of Emily posts to keep up with 7th grade high society of Franklin County.
Well, Lila, Bree, never had to worry about getting in because she had twin brothers who were a little bit older and boys. And as you can well imagine, boys are rare in this scene because boys aren't into that shit. And so they're highly desirable in the cotillion culture. And hey, they were a 2-for-1 deal.
So they paved the way for Lila because once your family is in, you're in.
Yeah. And Bree, Lila is actually into it. And this is so cute for one reason and one reason alone, Bree. She gets to wear gloves. White gloves are mandatory at every social event.
It's all about the costume, isn't it? I'd love an excuse to wear something random like gloves.
You and I would cut all the fingers off to be like Madonna in the Like a Virgin video. Oh.
I'm sure I did that at some point.
Oh, yeah, me too. Lila also said that she liked gloves because the boys' hands were gross and sweaty, so she didn't have to touch them.
There's that too.
And the big Valentine's Day dance is coming up. Mom is distracted, though, by her upcoming Bahamas cruise with Dad, so Mom won't be there for the dance, but she does take Lila shopping for her fit. Bree, where did you go shopping for your special occasion dresses?
Oh man, we would go to Charlotte and we'd go to the Belk.
For me, it was Farmville, Leggett's.
Yep.
Same thing. All right. But Bree, this is 2003. She gets to go to the mall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Mom gets her a dress from Limited too. Remember Limited?
I lived in Limited.
Oh, me too. And they pick out a long silver twirly skirt with rhinestones and a bedazzled red satin top.
Perfect for Valentine's.
Exactly. The day of the Valentine's dance arrives. By this time, Mom and Dad are on the cruise. So Lila is hitching a ride to the event with her best friend, Betsy. Betsy's mom is running behind, so when she gets there, she honks for Lila.
Well, that seems against Cotillion rules to stay in the driveway and honk.
Yeah, but they can't be late.
Even so.
Well, she's about to run out the house when she can't find her gloves. You legit can't get in without the gloves.
And that's her favorite part.
And it's her favorite part, and she don't want to touch sweaty boy hands. Luckily, she remembers her Mimi, her fabulously stylish grandmother, has lent her a pair of gloves. Black gloves. And after some serious frantic digging into all the crannies of her closet, she finds them. And the gloves are the perfect final touch. Honestly, they go with the shiny silver and red much better than the white would have. Can you see it, Bree?
I can see it.
You sound worried.
I'm a little worried. Keep going.
Okay. She runs out to the driveway. Betsy's mom is staring at her in shock with a look of terror on her face. The minivan door slowly creaks open. The driver's side window slides down. Lila is like, what is going on? Betsy's mom says, bless your heart.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we know what that means in the South, Bree,
Yeah,
right?
we do. Bless your heart is not a prayer in celebration of you. No.
No,
It is
it's like
not.
it's like the hippie be well. If a crunchy hippie type spiritual person ever says be well to you, it does not mean be well. It means,
Means get your act together, fool.
Yes. And then Mom's like, might as well get on in. We're already late. They get to the country club. She and Betsy pop out that minivan and make their way in. And Lila thinks, Betsy must be super excited for this dance because she tears across that parking lot, putting about 20 feet between her and Lila. Betsy goes in. Lila hears the muted applause of the little gloved hands. Lila lifts her chin, straightens her shoulders, smooths her skirt, pinches her cheeks, and squeezes an imaginary quarter in her ass, just like she was taught. Like a refined lady, she makes her grand entrance next, through the trellis archway of white roses and fairy lights. The DJ table scratches. Silence. She looks around. Everyone is staring at her, stunned. Because, Bree, everyone is wearing white, except her. This, Bree, is the white ball.
Mendy, there are so many things wrong with that sentence.
Are white balls very special in the Cotillion community, Bree?
I'm going to pass on that question, Mendy.
Yeah, they are. There's only one a year. Mama had her mind in the Bahamas, remember? And she didn't read that invitation carefully. Now Lila is standing there wearing her Limited 2 red and silver sparkly ensemble.
And her Mimi's black gloves.
Yes, I could tell you were worried when the black gloves came up. Yes, in this room full of delicate alabaster-clad cherubs, she seems to be Satan's most special sweetheart.
Paige and Dana Carvey. Well, isn't that special?
Look at this little strumpet amongst all the angels. She has broken the rules.
Mendy, before we delve into the obvious awkwardness of this situation, can we just point out that this is exactly how we want this kind of an event to go down now?
Yes. Oh, hell yeah. You invite me to a white party, you know I'm rocking hot pink.
Yeah, but maybe not at age 12.
Yeah, maybe not at age 12. Oh, if we could go back. Right, right. And the silence is finally broken by the most terrifying sound a middle schooler could ever hear. Teen girl giggles.
Well, that was awkward.
She realizes her faux pas. Her face turns the same scarlet as her bedazzled top, and she slinks off to a corner alone for the rest of the night. No one will talk to her. No one will foxtrot to Beyonce's Crazy in Love with her. She's just counting the minutes until she could get home and AOL instant message her mom that her life is now over.
Poor thing.
I know. When she told me this story, I always think of songs from the era, and the most popular song at the year of this story was Beautiful by, I forget who sang it. Who is it?
Christina Aguilera?
Yes. Have you heard that song? It's all about just feeling like you don't belong. I'm sorry. God, I'm such a, this is my third time crying on the podcast.
Mindy, you are a great protector of 7th grade girls.
Oh God, when I was in 7th grade, I had a monokini. Remember those? It's like a transitional bra, but a bikini. Like I'm transitioning from a one piece to a bikini. And so for people who don't know, a monokini is the top of a bikini and the bottom of a bikini, but they're attached in the middle. So it's like training wheels for when you're really wearing a bikini.
Popular. They were super popular in the 80s.
So popular. Training wheels for when you're ready for a real bikini. And the bottom was black. The top was neon green. And in black pleather, like shiny pleather, all caps, it said awesome across the top. And as I was going off the diving board, this guy a few years older than me was like, I don't see anything awesome about that.
Oh, what a jerk. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he asked me out 2 years later.
Of course he did.
Tough times.
I'm glad you got through it. I'm sorry that he said that to you.
7th grade sucked.
I know, but Mendy, it's important to remember that, like you, most of the time, 7th grade girls do recover from these situations.
Yes, we do. And actually, Bree, later on in the night, one dude, a totally hot older dude, the most popular boy whose mom is the president of Cotillion, D'Artagnan, comes over to her. His name is D'Artagnan.
You and your names, these names that you make up for people are killing me, Mendy. All right, so D'Artagnan, the hot older dude, what does he do?
Yes. Cotillion D'Artagnan comes over to her and says, I like you. You're different.
And that's why you wear hot pink to the white party, Mendy.
Exactly.
What happened next?
Well, Mama came home and encouraged her to get right back out there. And they can't ban her because if they lose her, they'll lose her totally cute twin brothers. She takes a couple months off to regroup, and she is determined to regain her status in the herd via the dance competition at the May Day Mixer. If she can win that, she'll be back on top.
She has a mission.
That's right, our girl works hard. She practices for weeks in the basement because she is going to take the gold in the NSYNC Dirty Pop Dance Challenge.
Mendy, did you practice dances in your basement?
Not in my basement, but in my bedroom all the time. In the 6th grade talent show, I performed a dance and sang. And when I say sang, I mean lip synced to Head to Toe by Lisa and the Cult Jam. Oh, I remember every single word, and I'm not going to sing it right now. And I had this whole dance routine. And Bree, I got in big trouble because before I went on stage, this is so Mindy. While I was waiting in the wings, I did that thing that we used to do where you take the bottom of your shirt and you bunch it up and you tuck it through the neck and you pull it down. So it makes this cute little crop top. And I went on stage and did my thing and I got in big trouble.
Mendy, will you do a sketch of that technique for making a crop top? Will you do a how-to sketch of that we can put in our show notes this week?
I will. What about you, Bree? Did you practice dancing?
I did musical theater, Mendy, when I was a child. So I did a lot of dances in my basement. But I also did talent show competitions where I choreographed my own dance. The one that I remember most was 5th grade when I danced with pom-poms to Billy Joel's Uptown Girl.
Oh my God. Oh, I want to see the video. Please do that for us, Bree.
Okay, anyway, let's get back to Lila's story. I want to hear what happened at the event where she gets to show them what she's got.
This event happens to be doo-wop themed, so Lila arrives in full grease pink ladies mode.
Rizzo!
Yeah, the seal is broken and she is owning it.
Does she win?
No, but she wins the electric slide competition, which is an even greater honor because everybody knows the electric slide and is well practiced. So in order to stand out, you must be the absolute best and have your own special twist. Bree, this was a real bonding moment for me and Lila because we both agreed that you should always do the electric slide at every party to any song. It's like this common language. It helps to get the shy people up and dancing. You just have to adjust your pace and rhythm.
I know. I've seen you many, many times.
That's right. And Bree, I've got goss.
Oh, Mim, you know I love goss.
This is like page 6 juicy. The Cotillion world was upended when the Cotillion president disappeared one day with all the dues and never returned.
What? She must have gone to the Bahamas with her laundered money.
Right? I hope she didn't take D'Artagnan. I forgot to ask Lila.
I'd be sad to see him go. So does she have any advice for us?
Yeah. Read the invitation carefully.
That's what I always tell my kids.
And always do the electric slide on every dance floor. That's what I tell mine.
So, Mendy, on a scale of 1 to 10, how awkward is this story?
Oh, this is an easy 10 for me. Middle school shame is the worst. I'm tearing up again.
Oh, Mendy.
What about you, Bree?
I'm going to give it a 7 because she will never regret having the coolest outfit at the party.
That's right. Bree, okay, what would you have done in her situation?
Well, I actually was in a similar situation.
Oh, no. I'm gonna cry.
No. You're not going to cry about this. I was a little bit older. The stakes weren't as high. But I was at a very, very fancy event where people were dressed to the nines. And I sort of ended up there accidentally. And I had on, this is the 90s, I had on a mini skirt and a crop top. I was really not dressed for the occasion. And combat boots, too. Let's not forget the combat
girl.
boots.
Oh, my God.
And
so cute.
This is what I did. I held my head high and I acted like I meant to be wearing that outfit and that there was nothing unusual about it. So I just acted like I was right. And it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've told my kids that since they entered those middle school years. I was like, so much is a confidence game. Just pretend you own the room. Right?
Just so true.
Fake it till you make it, baby.
How about you, Mendy? What would you do?
Okay, I would look around that ballroom and see if I could find little Dana. And I'd go stand next to her because God knows what the hell she's wearing. And you know what? Dana and I would dance all night, man. We would put our things down. We would flip it and reverse it because Missy Elliott was also popular at this time.
So, Lila, thank you for sending us your most awkward 7th grade moment. And listeners, if you have an awkward 7th grade or any grade moment, send them to us. We love to get your stories. It makes our week. So right now you're listening. If you go to the show notes, you'll see there's a link, share your story with us. You can click on that link And we make it really easy to share your story anonymously or not.
Yes, you could email us. You could drop us a phone message on our website. I really want those stories. I want more stories. And listeners, as always, we've got a little jingle for you. Are you ready, Bree?
I'm ready.
Cotillion night, Lila's big chance.
Mom in the Bahamas, she's ready to dance.
Red and black, but they look askance.
Well, that was awkward. So if you look like Satan's bride
At the middle school dance, hold your head high.
you'll win them over with electric slide.
It's electric.
Bougie woogie woogie. Well, that was awkward. Yeah. Black gloves are pretty cool, though. This has been an Awkward Sage production.